building itself is gorgeous. It's LEED Platinum. It's a working building though for staff. But one of the important considerations was that this be a resource for the community. So we want to make sure it's available for other environmental not-for-profit groups to use after hours. So there's some features designed in to section off parts of the building where office spaces are, but to make sure the large boardroom, the lunchroom, the reception area, the washrooms are all open to the community. We are in the middle of the boardroom, but it's also opened up. There's two meeting rooms that are off the boardroom, so they can all be opened up into one big facility for conferences and full staff meetings, or the two smaller rooms can be sectioned off if they're needed on their own. So this is intended as one of the showcase rooms for community use, for staff use. It opens up onto a deck behind you. Meeting rooms, that was one of the big motivators for us to even build a new center. We didn't have enough space for staff, and certainly didn't have enough places to meet either as staff or with the community. So we made sure in the design that this is going to be functional. So behind me, this is one of the small meeting rooms. There's about 8 small meeting rooms like this. For staff, it's an open concept building, so the meeting rooms are important for those conversations, but really important when the public comes in and they want to look at mapping or get environmental information or talk about permits or a property. We've got a place to sit down and professionally meet with them with an actual table and provide the information in a professional manner. I'm standing in what we call our lab, which is kind of a glorified kitchen, but it is a lab. Lets us continue to pursue a lot of our water quality work, doing the analysis with benthic invertebrates, our species at risk, all kinds of opportunities. Up till now, we've been using the garage of one of our staff persons, so this is a huge improvement and an opportunity to have, again, the facility to allow staff to do their job. And this is just one example. We've got a flood operations center. Emergency response is a huge responsibility for us. And up till now, again, it's been very disjointed in our old building. This gives us one physical place where all the information is, all the communications, that we can do what we have to do in a flood emergency. This is one of the outlets for the air handling system. So this is a low velocity, high volume vent that will be around the building. But really, this is the end point for the heating system. And because this is a LEED Platinum building, people always have questions, what's the energy source? So the main heating and cooling for the building are air source heat pumps, which are mounted on the roof of the building. That's the technology, but really the most important thing we've come to learn is that we have a really tight building in the first place, so no matter how you're heating or cooling it, it is as efficient as possible in retaining that air. So that's kind of the new high-tech approach. We're using some old style technology too. Helping to cool the building, we have earth tubes buried in the ground adjacent to the parking lot. These are like 4-foot diameter concrete tubes that are underground horizontally, but they have an end point where the air can be drawn in through from outside through those tubes, and then it enters the building. So the air is pre-cooled in the summer to help reduce the load on the cooling system. In the winter, we have another passive feature. We have what we call solar walls, which we can show you a video of in a minute, where we try and preheat the air as it comes in. So that's all just to offset things. Now again, we have a huge advantage at Upper Thames because all of our electricity supply comes from renewable energy from our hydro plant on Fanshawe Dam. Just kidding. Okay, we're outside now, the south wall of the building, and this is another part of the old school passive energy system. The big silver panels that you see behind me are part of their solar walls or solar chimneys, we call them. And they're not done yet. That's not what it'll look like. There will be a dark sheet of steel, dark blue, that's all perforated, that goes over top of these so that there's an open space behind them. That will heat up in the sun because of its dark color. And then as the heating system draws fresh air into the building through these walls and up into the heating system, the air is preheated. So again, it just lowers the loading that the actual heat pumps have to put in place to heat the air. So passive, cheap, efficient system. So these are the air source heat pump units for the heating and cooling of the building. People are probably familiar with ground source heat pumps where you've got pipes in the ground, they're horizontally or vertically with some kind of a glycol in them that's cooled or heated. This is exactly the same, except it's drawing the energy out of the air.
And the intake for the ground tubes, and this is the intake for the solar wall. This is the main ventilation unit that draws in the fresh air. What's that?
It's the heartbeat of the whole building.
Yeah, it is. It draws in the fresh air from outside and then mixes it with the air in the building.
The whole point was to try and provide a building that helps meet our ends and the community's ends to improve watershed health. So that's what this is about. All the features of the building, the quality of the building, the LEED designation is all there to try and make it, it's a tool for all of us to achieve those ends. It's not an end in itself, it's just a means to an end.